Excited to talk to our next guest because as far as I'm concerned, this is the AI company of the year. CoreWeave co-founder and CEO Michael Intrator. Good to see you in person for a change.
It's great to be here, and I like that, the AI company of the year. There's some stiff competition for that.
Look, I mean, like Nvidia and there's many other companies, but the AI story of the year has been CoreWeave. You had the IPO, and now you're out with a new venture fund.
Yeah.
Talk to us about it because the market sure seems to like it.
Yeah, so the venture fund makes a ton of sense for us, right? Because it allows us to help get to know new AI companies that are being formed. It gets us into the ecosystem deeper. It allows new companies that require compute to be successful, that require compute as one of the fundamental building blocks of the next wave of technology to become available to them. And so we get to invest in them, we get to help give them access to compute. We give them, the ability to kind of build and scale and run their experiments as they begin to grow. And it's really been a tremendously successful, and we think that it is an important part of building a robust, resilient ecosystem where lots of different companies with lots of different ideas can bring and build their particular solutions and deliver them to the market.
So we've seen Nvidia do something like this.
Yeah, it's I'd like to say we came up with the model, but it's not. It's so logical. It makes so much sense that a lot of companies are building these type of extensions because. It provides an incredible feedback loop to us also. It lets us know where we need to dedicate our resources, what we need to build. And that flywheel of them helping us and us helping them is important not just to CoreWeave, but to Nvidia and to many, many other companies also. And us being able to put that out there to really provide an on-ramp for infrastructure for these companies and resources, it's been very successful, it's very exciting.
What do you think about some of the valuations on these AI startups?
Yeah, listen, valuations are always challenging when you have a technology that's really changing the world, right? And people have talked to me about this before, and I just think that we need to kind of really look at this from the potential of what these companies are going to do to our economy, to our society. And there's small companies that come along that begin to invest in an idea. They build that idea, they deliver the infrastructure to change the world. And so, we know there's going to be a failure rate. We know that there's going to be a success rate, and we're very, very comfortable, investing time, resources, compute to driving them forward.
I had a really fun conversation with OpenAI CFO Sarah Fryer, and she said this year, their sales for their business will 3x or increase 3 times versus last year to $14 billion. You have a relationship with this company.
Absolutely.
How much business will you do with OpenAI this year, and can you do more?
Yeah, so earlier this year, we announced an $11, $12 billion contract with OpenAI, which is a massive scaled contract, yeah, and just defining for a massive facility. The answer to your question is, and this is not a commentary on CoreWeave. This isn't really a commentary on the infrastructure space that's trying to build the computing requirements for all of these AI labs. The space is. The depth of the demand, the scale of the demand, the breadth of the demand is overwhelming the industry's capacity to deliver the compute that is required by OpenAI, by the hyperscalers, by the enterprise, by the sovereigns. It's just layer after layer of overwhelming demand. And so we're building as fast as we can, we're building as large as we can, we're delivering as many GPUs as we can. On the one hand, I've got Sarah yelling at me, on the other hand, I've got Jensen yelling at me, and we're driving through the middle to try and get this infrastructure into the hands of these incredible companies that really have the capacity to allow artificial intelligence to achieve its potential. But they can only do that if we can deliver the compute, right? The compute defines the limit of what can be built.
Will there ever be enough compute?
So
I put that question to Sarah,
Yeah.
but I'm curious on what.
So look, I'm a market operator. I've been a market operator my whole career, right? Like markets are very good at solving for efficiency, bringing supply and demand into alignment. And so, yes, of course, at some point there will be enough compute. However, when and what that looks like is a point of discussion, right? And it's a point of discussion where I think it's really necessary, and I encourage my team to kind of think about it in the forest versus the trees, right? We're going through a global build out of the computing infrastructure for artificial intelligence, which will define the economy, which will define society for the next 100 years. That's the forest. And so when you think about it from that lens, it's unbelievable how much needs to be done to support globally what is required for this technology to ultimately provide the benefits that it's capable of across medicine, across energy, across the economy. It's just like astounding how many different ways it's going to impact it. The trees are, there are going to be signals periodically that are going to say, oh, there's enough, or and like I just think that we got to zoom out. And when you zoom out and you look at the scale of what needs to be built, we are in a super cycle that's going to last a long time as we continue to build and deliver this infrastructure to the world.
Not so many people get to work alongside or see how a visionary in Nvidia, CEO Jensen Huang, operates. What have you learned from him as you've scaled up your business?
So look, Jensen has been a tremendous supporter of our company, and I think the world thinks about him from a, he's building this great technology. But one of the things that has been so interesting is to see the breadth of the aperture that he uses to understand where we are, where the technology is going, and what he needs to do in order to make it successful. And I think it's really important as a CEO to be able to zoom out and see the world that way, because there are so many moving pieces that are required to drive a business of the size and scale that he runs. And his capacity to do that is unmatched.